I got the engine all taken apart as far down as I'm gonna go, except for taking this stuff apart and pulling the cam out, because I need to go and get some bolts for this so I can bolt that up and pull the balancer off. But if you look in here, you can see it's got two new pistons in it. The valve reliefs are a little bit different than these, so that's interesting. Also, well, don't know if I'll be able to show this very good because now it's upside down or the other way around, but there's actually assembly lube in all the journals and on all the bearings and stuff. So somebody put this together and never ran it, as far as I can tell. So I'm gonna clean it up. I'm gonna leave all the rotating assembly in there. It seems all good. There's no loose bearings or anything as far as I can tell by hand. So I'm just gonna put it all back together with, you know, new head gaskets, head bolts. I'm gonna put probably a 460 lift cam in it, something mild where it'll still have a little vacuum for the vacuum brakes I'm gonna do. And of course, new lifters. I'll get the good hardened face lifters, which are kind of hard to find, but Summit Racing has them. It'll, you know, they're a little more money, but they're worth it because I really want to have a successful cam break-in. And the cheap lifters from Summit, I've heard a lot of bad things about them. People wiping out cams on the first start. So anyway, I'm gonna have to clean everything up really good, and eventually I'll order those parts from Summit and start putting this thing back together. These heads have obviously been rebuilt. These are the 194 heads I just measured the intake valves on them. But yeah, these are like fresh. I mean, it's shiny metal. There's never been any carbon built up on those. And also, if you look at them, I'm pretty sure these are new too. So I think it's all been rebuilt. The thing that's not so good is I don't know what the springs are. I don't know if they're tighter springs or stock springs, or I don't know anything about them. So I might change those. I might change those out before I break in the cam, just to be safe. I already got a new fuel pump in the mail here. I actually got this for free from Rock Auto because a few months back I won a door prize at a car show for $25 gift card for Rock Auto. So I went on there and I got this, and I think with the shipping it ended up being like $24.50 or something. Just a replacement Carter fuel pump. This one here is shot. First of all, it's full of mud daubers. Second of all, it's completely seized up. That doesn't even move at all. So that's scrap. I'll probably just, you know, run a mechanical pump like this, and I don't like the noisy electric pumps. Well guys, it is a beautiful Saturday. So instead of being in the garage on such a beautiful day, I'm gonna come out here and shift my attention back into the car itself. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pull all the seats out of it and power wash this thing. Power wash the engine bay, get rid of all this dirt. A lot of the grease is probably not gonna come off, but mostly it's just dirt. There's barely any floors left in this car, so I'm gonna power wash the floor and see just what is left. Obviously I won't be cutting up these spare doors I have. And this is the shell of a 57 Chevy right here, parts car basically, what's left of one. I have this here as well, but that part is not rusty on the car, so somebody has already cut out the typical rusty spot that these cars get and used it, but there's still a little material here I could possibly use. This right here, I kind of want to turn it into a couch, so I'm going to leave that alone. When I get done with all of that, patching up all the floors, then what I'll do is I'll put a bunch of that Rust-Oleum, that brown primer, whatever you call it, down, and then I'll just paint it all Rust-Oleum black on the floor, and that'll be good and solid, good enough. That's probably all the paint this car is gonna get. I may paint the frame in here just to kind of spruce things up a little bit. I actually have some treasures here in the trunk that I won't be using, but got the old ram horn manifolds, the hubcaps for the smoothie wheels, which I won't be using. I like just the exposed lug nut look. I actually might be able to use this if it lines up right, and the fan's in good shape as well. There's also another water pump pulley, which is a little bit shorter, really old distributor. It's all seized up, pretty much junk. Might be able to use it for a oil pump priming tool. Hubcap for my collection. Bottom part of the steering column, I'll be using that. I guess I shouldn't have said I won't be using this stuff, because I will be using some of it. Looks like a draft pipe or whatever. Couple shields. Even got an old generator. Definitely won't be using. Check it out, guys. 1956 nickel under the seats. Probably been there for a long time. Actually, we got an alternator bracket down there I didn't see before. I got it in here with the ram cart, and now I got to get it over here in this side of the garage so I can keep my bay open in case I got to work on something. I don't have those wheel dolly things. I should definitely invest in those in the near future, but at the moment I don't have any. So I think the car is light enough without the engine and interior and everything. I think it's light enough where I can jack it up and just push the car over here. Start with the back, push the back over, or start with the front, whatever, and push it over and get it over here. We'll see how it goes. Well, I got it moved over there. It was a lot easier than I thought it would be, and also there's a lot more room over here than I thought there would be. On this side here, there's plenty of room to walk around the car, and even in the back here, I can walk around, squeeze between those engine hoists there, and get around it that way as well. So way better than I thought it would be. I thought it would be really crampy, but there's plenty of room to work on it, and I got this whole bay open over here so I can still work on stuff over here. So that's great. I did order floorboards for this thing, not the full floor. I'm not going to be doing it the proper way. Now, really, what you should do is probably replace the entire floor, but I'm not going to do that. I ordered the 4 patch panels to do these 4 sections here. They were a lot cheaper than I thought they were, so went ahead and ordered those. It'll save me a lot of time and frustration trying to make those pieces out of scrap metal. So I just went ahead and ordered them, and I'll weld those in here. What I'll do is I'll just cut out the rust and then slap those over top and weld them in, and then I will primer everything and just brush on some Rust-Oleum here. That stuff. Got plenty left over from projects over the years, and that should be good enough. All the other rust I'm gonna ignore on this thing. That's kind of important because you don't want big holes in the floor, and you don't want your feet dragging on the road when you're going down the road. So I'll fix that, and then I'm gonna put my focus on the engine, transmission, mechanical. The car needs complete wiring throughout. That's going to take a lot of time, and a lot of little things. I need to find some bucket seats, like, just old school 60s bucket seats. Nothing with an ugly headrest or anything. I'm not going to be using this mystery camshaft, and I'm going to just get a new cam, probably with like a 460 lift. They're cheap. No reason to stick this back in there. I guess it'll turn into metal art of some kind, maybe. I've got a few other camshafts I could build something out of. Also, if you look right there, it says more, which is interesting. I wonder what the story is behind that. And it looks like it's got new freeze plugs in it. Someone drove in there pretty aggressively. You can see the chisel mark. So that's as far down as I'm going to take this thing. I'll be ordering parts pretty soon to get it put together, but for now I'm going to push this off to the side. I'm going to work on the car. Once I get those floor pans in, weld those in, get that stuff taken care of. I got to source a transmission and get everything back together. A lot of work to do yet, that's for sure, but stay tuned. There'll be lots more to come on this car in the near future.